morning, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Break with Vickie Helm. This is a Smart Life Club. I'm so glad you're joining us today. I see you guys onboarding. Wow. Hi. It's good to see you all. Thanks. Thanks for coming in. My name is Vickie Helm. If you've not been here before, this is the Coffee Break Show. This is where we get to have a cup of coffee, relax, and just have some time with each other where we are talking and hanging out together. And thank you for being here. Today is a really important day. I want to let you know that I had a really splendid night, and I want to be able to share with you something that was an epiphany, something that was fantastic that happened to me last night. And that was, I want to talk about good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming on. I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you guys coming in and being very quiet in the background. So do me a favor and say hello in there and come on in. Today, I want to talk about the creative wave. And that is very, very important for those of the people who want to make an income or a living or just have quality of life or whatever. This right now, we are in the time of the artist. And the time of the artist, the era of the artist, because we have so much shifting and changing and doing. And the artist is literally the key. I know we have different names for them called problem solvers or entrepreneurs, but the truth is everything is about art right now. Hey, nice to see you guys on board. Thank you so much. The artist is so important right now. They are the bridge builder between this past traditional life and this new thing that we're coming up into that we don't even have a name for. We just call it the future. And in the future, the artists are designing what is going to happen, whether you're a tech artist, whatever. Everyone is an artist in their work. And the thing about that is, the most important thing that you can have as an artist is what? Creativity. It's the ability to see things differently. It's the ability to look at a blank canvas and start to begin to put things on it that help benefit others, benefit yourself. They are the shapeshifters. Hey, Suzanne, nice to see you guys. Everybody, thanks for boarding on. They are the shapeshifters of the future. Artists are. Now, one of the key things about art is that you don't know when inspiration is going to hit you. Hey, Lori, nice to see you on board. When inspiration hits you, it can happen at any time, any second, day or night. And you can be somewhere where you feel inspired. The inspiration of something means that it's like a link between you and the divine. Lori says, I finally get to make it to one of these. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here, Lori. So when the artist comes in, you don't know when that moment is going to happen. So what happens? You need to be mindful and you need to be aware. And that is what we call looking for opportunities. So, for instance, Lori's on. She is definitely one of my favorite people. She's the only person I let take pictures of me. All the magazine covers and book covers, Lori's a photographer. She's like my favorite one. And when you're a photographer, the moment happens when the moment happens. You have to be aware and awake to take advantage of that moment. It's the same with an idea. When you're producing an idea or you're looking at something differently, all of the future is dependent on that awareness to think outside of the box, to create, and to look inside the box as well. Don't just climb out of the box and think the box was bad. The box isn't bad. The box is familiar, and there's a difference. There's nothing wrong with the box. The box is familiar. What's in the box that you can utilize differently and make it completely new? And so what happens with creativity is all of creativity has a message to the world. So whether it's benefiting the world or not is going to be up to you. But when I'm going to assume that if you're on this coffee break show, that you're an ethical entrepreneur, you're an ethical person, you're an ethical artist. And when I say art and the future being about art, It is being able to identify the inspiration that is coming through you in the moment. It's becoming familiar with being in the moment and taking action on that inspiration. Your first action on that inspiration, it's like, wouldn't it be great if blah, 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 and suddenly the idea comes in here and it strikes you. It gives you desire. It gives you inspiration. It gives you a little bit of drive. And you can either do two things, which is most of the time you'll think about it a little more, think about it a little more, think about it a little more. And you'll either think about it till you fall asleep or forget it, or think about it until you take an action towards it. That's the deciding point about whether success is going to happen or you're going to stall it and quote unquote put it off till later. So what happens with inspiration and ideas? Where do they come from? Where do inspiration and ideas come from? So let's think about it. Do they come from your brain? No. Your brain usually is the person assessing the idea. It's assessing if that's good. It can come from a conversation you have over a coffee with someone. Sometimes when I go, I take a piece of paper with me because I'm a writer. And somebody will say something that I can go, oh, that's a great title for an article. Oh, that's a great title for whatever. And so I'm constantly writing these ideas down so that I can follow up on them. The first thing that says yes to an idea and hooks that idea and brings it in is paying attention. Paying attention to what somebody's saying and going, oh, good article title. Or, oh, great picture. I'm going to get out my camera right now and take a shot. And this is where the dividing line between success and unsuccess is. Success, because I don't like to say failure, but okay, let's call it failure. Success is the ability to take the next best step. It's not getting a whole lot of money and being really wealthy. That's not success. Success is your ability to take the next best step forward. It's your ability to say yes to you. That's what success is. When success happens, it means that something has been presented to you that you're either going to act on or you're going to forget. Success is when you act on the things that mean something to you. So if you want to be a writer, the action of outlining a book or starting that chapter, that's success. If you want to be a photographer, the action of taking a picture, it doesn't have to be perfect. Somebody doesn't have to buy it yet. Somebody has to be able to take the next action in order to complete the product. Now, where there is creativity and inspiration is divine to me. The divinity of the universe talking to you and inspiring you by showing you a beautiful sunset or a beautiful mountain or a beautiful sentence in a book or a beautiful heart-to-heart, amazing connection, conversation that you have with someone and they say yes and you say yes and voila, there's an inspiration to create something and you have a partnership. The ability to allow yourself to take a risk and step out into the unknown and follow a seed that was planted in your soul, that's success. And when you live that long term, that's having a successful life. Now, in the creation of money or relationships or whatever else, all of it requires risk. All of it, all of your soul, all of who you are requires inspiration and risk. Those are the things in your life that give you quality of life. Remember when you were learning to ride a bike? I know for some of you it was a really long time ago, but just imagine right now and just say, yes, I remember when I was riding a bike. There was always the risk of falling down. There was always the risk of having to get back up, get on that bike and pedal it a little bit, and boom, you'd fall over. But in success, that's the practice of it. You get on the bike, you pedal until success becomes the center part of your being. Success isn't a place you arrive at. Success and inspiration are things that just are, that you can have, you can access every single day. You can get there and understand them, feel them, know them. Success is some of the most important things you can have to bring you quality of life. It requires inspired action, that you pay attention and become mindful to the things around you. It is also that you identify the artist within you. Now, I want to talk about the artist within everyone. Everyone has an artist in them. So there's art in the way that is created to pictures and paintings and sculptures and pottery and art like that. There's the art of connection and conversation, where we meet just like we're doing right now and we're talking to each other and we're connecting. That's the art of conversation right now. And all of that art now, if you look at conversation, it's very important, especially in politics, especially if you want to create a world that is more loving, more kind, more seen. All of those things require that we have the art of conversation. Then there's the art of assessing and analyzing and evaluating and problem solving. And believe me, there's a whole bunch of people out there that can do that so well. And without those wonderful, beautiful skill sets that are artful things inside you, we would be in a whole lot worse place. Art is everything. Everyone is an artist. When you write a book, when you do whatever you do, even if it's become an intermediary in a conversation, everything that you do comes from this place that holds art. The future is going to be built on that. It is resting on the artist right now. It is the era of that. And this kind of inspiration that happens when art happens, it could be 2 a.m, it could be 6 a.m, it could be whenever you want it to be. However, you have to meet your art first before anyone else does. You have to be willing to risk looking stupid for a bit while you learn to draw or you learn to take pictures. You have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone of caring about what other people think. And that's the one single thing that blocks the artist. It blocks your art. Every time you come up, if you're worried about other people thinking, well, that's a stupid picture, I can't believe you did that, or some troll or some hater coming along telling you you're too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too, whatever it is that you're worried about them saying, whatever it is that blocks you from having your success, that keeps you out of this whole quality of life thing. The thing about life is that when you're growing, what is it that he used to say, when you're ripe, when you're green, you're growing, you're ripe, you're rotten. That is Ray Kroc. That green and growing is the thing that gives you quality of life. It gives you legacy. It gives you success. When we take a look at a coffee break today, and we're just sitting around talking with each other, and time for a sip of coffee, having these tools around us that are all internet-based, most of them are free, they're low cost, they are to allow the expression of your artistry out. They're to allow the expression of your artistry out. The question is, are you willing to meet the artist that you don't think is in you? Are you willing to meet the artist within you in order to come out and have a deeper, more satisfying quality of life and form of success? Once you meet the artist within you, you're going to have to craft and craft and craft over and over again. And you're going to have to trust the art coming through you, which is a big deal. Most people want to have the art that's going to make them a lot of money because they think there's only certain types of art that make them money. That's not true. There are tons of ways to make money with your art. The question is, are you willing to meet you that way? Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm willing to meet me. And then your defensive mind gets in the way and blocks the artist. So what happens when an inspiration comes in? Thank you for reminding me to make tea. That's right, make tea, Lori. What happens when we get an inspiration? Sometimes our mind likes to jump on. The inspiration comes to the soul. It doesn't come to the mind. But the mind, when it comes on, it says, we could do this. And then the mind will come on and go, but, wait a minute, or, well, you're not smart enough, good enough, blah, blah, blah. And you start beating the inspiration out of you. You have to work with your mind, not let your mind control your soul, but work with your mind and say, wait a minute, I understand that you want to protect me from feeling bad or humiliated or embarrassed or whatever, but what if we do something different this time, and just what does that inspiration have to say? What does it have to say? And when it does have something to say, what's your next step? Is it to write it down? What's the next action? So for me, last night, I had an inspiration that came to me that solved a problem, and I understood things in a way that made sense. And because I'm a writer, because that's my art right now, I like to write a lot, I went right to the computer, I turned the computer on, I got right on, and I wrote the first outline chapter, got everything done in its order so that I know where I've left off today. And that first action is very satisfying. I'm like, yes, I took an action on an inspiration. But it anchored the project in my heart. And suddenly I was like, yes, I'm on the right track. Now, before I do anything, I don't know about you, but this is just me. I always say a prayer. I do everything in the name of the divine. I do everything in the name of the master. I do everything in service of the divine. That's it. I don't try to, I do everything to make money. I do everything to impress other people. I do everything to make sure that I'm safe. I do everything in service of the divine. That's where inspiration comes in. But it is also faith. And when you develop faith in the divine, you can develop more faith in yourself, because you're now surrendering to the divine when you say, here's my inspiration and I'm going to follow it. Here's my inspiration and I'm going to develop it over a period of time. You are surrendering to the divine at that point. That is where success becomes and blossoms. It becomes something that grows out this way and blooms. And so what I want to leave you today with in this coffee break is a couple of questions to ask yourself. One is, are you brave enough to meet the artist within you? And if the answer is yes, are you brave enough to surrender to the artist in you? And if the answer is yes, are you willing to surrender to the fact that something divine is trying to speak to you and share with you so that you can make something that makes a difference in this world? And if the answer is yes, don't let your mind come on and talk you out of it or beat you up about it. Have faith and pursue the next best step. So today I want to thank you for being with me. I'm so excited that you are here. And I want you to, come on tomorrow and say, I took an action towards this. This is the Smart Life Club. I'm so glad you joined us. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vickie Helm, and I will see you tomorrow, Mountain Standard Time at 10 a.m. Talk to you soon. Mwah! I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.